what the full complement of players would bring and what outcome. So looking for an exciting game, high scoring, I think.
The Jaspers 6-13, 4-6 in conference play, 2-6 away from Draddy Gymnasium, and the Griffs 3-5 at home. But of course, 2 of those home games were played up at Niagara due to some building problems during the Christmas blizzard. But we're underway here in late January. Canisius against Manhattan, and the Jaspers have switched to a lot of zone here in the last couple of games, trying to settle down their defensive issues. Fritz left alone. He'll take that shot. Misses. Meslenikov gets the offensive rebound, but tapped away, and he turns it over.
See, Fritz has got to shoot that right away. Once he started thinking about it, he's in trouble. He was wide open, maybe surprised.
And Brennan gets inside and puts home the short shot. So take a look at the starters there: Marquise Watson, Ant Nelson, Adam Cisse, and Josh Roberts. The Griffs starting lineup, a little bit of a change here due to the injury to Gadsden, with Trey Dinkins getting the start today. Ball in the corner and a foul committed by Manhattan. There's your starting 5: Trey Dinkins, Jordan Henderson, Taj Stavesky, Jaco Fritz, and George Meslenikov. I haven't seen him in the starting lineup since game number 5.
Stavesky got a little casual with the ball. He got a little appetite of the length of Manhattan defenders there. He's got to be a little more firm with that ball.
Stavesky gives it up. Dinkins will fire up that shot. Looked good from the release, but it's off the back iron, no good.
Nice play. They ran a set play against the zone and got the shot they wanted.
And Nelson out near center court gives up his dribble and almost turns the ball over.
Deflection. I had a deflection there. I was playing defense, not offense there.
Highly unusual for you not to be ready for your shot. So Nick Brennan will inbound for Manhattan to Ant Nelson. Nelson and Roberts, both guys coming out of the Big East before going over to Manhattan. Nelson with the ball right now, played 2 years at Seton Hall. Nelson down to the baseline. Henderson stays in front of him, but Nelson makes the shot nonetheless.
I think those 2 shots are the most casual shots I've ever seen. You know, very confident, very composed 2 first baskets here for Manhattan.
Henderson on the wing, tries to slash inside, pulls up, 15-footer contested, but rattles home.
Nice push-off, too, there to go along with that, to create a little separation, no call, which we like to see for both sides. I don't want to get into all that. I think it's great when the referees just let them play.
Watson, checked by Stavesky. Now to Roberts, picked up by Henderson. Back out to Brennan. He looks to drive, gets it inside to Roberts, and pretty easy shot for Josh Roberts.
Once you throw that diagonal pass that quickly, it breaks everything down, and that's why that resulted. So that was a great kick-out pass, and Brennan just knew exactly what to do once he got it.
Meslenikov fires up the jump shot, and he gets the shooter's roll.
Got the shooter's push-off and the shooter's roll. And maybe they were wearing cowboy hats down in the locker room.
And Nelson back to Brennan, looking to post up against Dinkins. Turnaround shot, off the mark, no good, and the rebound run down by Stavesky. He looks to push. Taj Stavesky in the front court. Second-year player gets in the paint. His runner good, and we're tied at 6.
That was beautiful. He looked to push, but as you said, but he slowed down. You know, that's the maturity that you're going to see from him, because he can get in the lane with the best of them. That's a great sign for Canisius.
Stavesky played just 10 minutes last week in that loss at Quinnipiac. Watson gets past Stavesky and lays it up and in.
That's why he played 10 minutes, right? You can't let a guy go vertical right there. You got to move your feet and get him off that spot. That was way too easy, and no help defense.
Meslenikov, another jump shot misses. Rebound pulled away by Adam Cisse. Nelson in the front court. Now to Nick Brennan. Brennington out of Irvington, New York. Hand off Cisse. Brennan, as Roberts slips inside, misses the layup, and the rebound pulled away by Jordan Henderson. Pass ahead to Dinkins. Looks to attack, tries a tough pass to Fritz, and it's a turnover. Here comes Watson. Watson in the front court. Will take it to the rim. No, he kicks it back out. And Nelson runs it down, fires up that 3. That's going to be well short. Rebound. Stavesky is able to come up with it. To Dinkins. His pull-up 3. No good. Watson. Back for Brennan. Things slowing down here. Just 1 foul in the first 4 minutes of this game.
Yeah, a lot going on in that little sequence there. You know, some good shots, some not so good. Teams are feeling each other out here.
Nelson against the double team. Finds Brennan. Brennan gets into the paint. Nice little ball fake and lays it up and in.
That's the same pass, and again, you've got to close out under control because you're running at a guy. You can't let him do that. And Brennan, he's a very poised young man.
Again, Manhattan in that zone. Dinkins swing over to Staveski. Staveski calling for a ball screen. Gives it up now to Dinkins. Under 10 on the shot clock. Pass to Fritz at the elbow. That shot does not go in, and the rebound is pulled away by Cisse.
You might want to put Henderson in there at that because they're conceding that foul line jumper, so maybe make an adjustment there.
Nelson with the crossover dribble, then loses it off his own foot, and a turnover for the Jaspers as we go to break. Canisius trailing by 4 on their home floor today. College basketball in Buffalo on ESPN3.
Phillips presents.
In this business to become a head coach, so I think he's doing a very good job. Like you said, he's been affiliated with the program, and he's got the credentials to back up his playing prowess. And defense, like you said, is a good thing to build your coaching philosophy around.
Bryce Hockpo and Xavier Long into the game for Canisius. Logan Padgett on the floor here now for Manhattan, along with a couple of other changes as well. Pass goes inside. Hockpo can't handle it. Xavier Long gets a hand on it, but it turns it over to Manhattan.
First time they tried that, they got some young legs in there and the substitution after that TV timeout with Hockpo and Xavier Long. So see if they can handle that middle.
Samir Stewart just checked into the game. The fifth-year player knocks down that three, and Manhattan leads by 7.
He knows what to do with it, right? He gets it. He can get hot, so you better not let him get going. Most of their shots have been uncontested. Talking about Manhattan.
Staveski. Canisius really not getting much action against the zone early on. Henderson pulls up at the baseline. His shot good.
Well, that's where you beat it. You make the point. It's a 3-2 zone that John Chaney at Temple made famous, and it flattens out to a 2-3. But if you swing it quick enough, you get that baseline short corner jumper, and nice job by Henderson doing that.
Stewart off the bench averaging 14 points. Feeds it now down to the baseline. Brennan looking to post up against Dinkins. Tough shot there. Good defense, Dinkins, and saves it from going out of bounds. It'll be Canisius basketball.
Yeah, you see his athleticism there, too. It's interesting. Brennan, he's got like Dirk Nowitzki. He must have watched a lot of him growing up because he's shooting off 1 foot. Obviously very confident. We'll see it right here. Watch, and he kind of steps back. Good contest there. I was talking about lack of contesting shots. That was a good example of how to do that.
Jameer Moultrie now coming off the bench today for Canisius. One of their leading scorers. Moultrie fires up that three. Nothing but net for Jameer Moultrie.
Yeah, he should, 40%, give or take from 3? That's really good. I think the leader in the MAC is 45%. Anything over 40, obviously, you're a very good shooter, and that was a confident stroke.
Stewart with a lot of ball handling right now. Gives it up to Brennan with 15 on the clock. Hand off to Padgett. Padgett looks to attack against Long, lays it up and in.
Yeah, Padgett kind of sucked in Long there by saying, I'm going to hand it off, and he didn't. Oops, he still had the ball.
Dinkins to Moultrie. Jordan Henderson tries to attack back to Moultrie. Dinkins goes baseline and then has it knocked free, and Warren runs it down for Manhattan.
Boy, Moultrie had a good shot. After he makes that first one, he just got to let that go.
Brennan, the handoff, Nelson. Check there by Moultrie. Nelson got a push off and gets a make.
Yeah, that was almost like a physical matchup right there. He just used his body just enough. But again, getting in the lane a little too easily here for Manhattan. This zone is confusing, like you said, Jay, but the timing of the cuts is really paramount here. And they're just got to wait till they time their cuts, and they're going to get a good look.
Xavier Long from the corner. It's a 3, and it cuts the lead to 17-14.
See, that's what happens when the zone doesn't flatten out from a 2-3 to from a 3-2 to a 2-3. You get that shot. But it's amazing how when they shoot in rhythm, right, they don't hesitate. The percentages go up so much.
And Nelson, checked by Henderson. Nelson still with the possession. Now Padgett looks to drive, Fadeaway jump shot that's going to be short. Rebound tapped out. Long had it momentarily. And now it's going to be picked up by Akpo.
Take an awful lot of fadeaway jump shots, don't they?
Dinkins gets into the paint. Nothing but net.
You know, he's been playing a lot better, and really it's because he understands his defensive responsibilities. Comes in really good with great offensive credentials, but he's got this really new commitment to defense.
Well, Brennan comes free inside and lays it up and in.
Well, that's just poor communication, right? They're if you took their length, they do this in golf, the length of their birdie putts, or the lengths of their shots, it's not that long, right? They're really getting inside with a lot of ease.
Xavier Long, diagonal pass out to Dinkins. His three off the mark. Rebound. Long gets it. Kicks back out again. Moultrie looks to go and then throws it away. It's going to go into backcourt, and that should be a violation, and in fact is a violation, and it'll send us to break. Manhattan up by 3 against Canisius, 19-16 here in the first half. This is college basketball from Buffalo today on ESPN3.
UB had that change in coaching, kind of like interim.
That's right.
Tonight, matching that up.
Took advantage of it, and he's had a great career since. Yeah.
Opened up against Dean Smith, as I recall.
Yes, I think.
Welcome to the big leagues. It's like your first at bat going against Nolan Ryan, your pinch hitter or something like that.
Manhattan with the basketball coming out of the timeout. Marquise Watson to Stewart, and boy, Moultrie all over Stewart. Stewart swings it over into the corner. Paget, his three, no good, and the rebound grabbed by Jordan Henderson.
That's the type of defense Reggie's looking for, moving your feet, like you said, Moultrie all over him. Now you got to do that for 60 possessions.
Prior to that shot, it was 64% shooting for the Jaspers. Xavier Long misses close, misses another close one, this one goes in.
Boy, his middle name should be Persistence, right? Because we just know that, and this is a poor rebounding team, talking about Manhattan, so he's got to have his eyes lit up there when he saw the scouting report and saw how poorly they rebounded against Niagara.
Pass to Watson off the mark, and a turnover for the Jaspers. Jaspers, as Griffin Della Penna mentioned in the pregame show, being out rebounded at almost 5 per game.
Yeah.
And giving up over 11.5 offensive rebounds each game.
That's I think they're 355 out of 356 in Division I, so that's certainly an area. And when you play zone as much as they do, that also compounds it.
Henderson turns and fires, misses. Paget corrals the rebound. Stewart, long pass ahead. Good rundown on the play by Josh Roberts, but then it goes to Moultrie, who then steps on the sideline.
Boy, Moultrie, it might have been a little more prudent to let that go out of bounds. That would have been three straight empty possessions for Manhattan, and Canisius got to make them pay. So I think they're going to talk a little bit about shot clock and is it a change of possession? What did they get? I think they're going to leave it at 20.
That's Paget grabbing the rebound, the long pass ahead here, and then the kind of odd scrum that happened afterwards. And they'll reset the clock at 29. This that Moultrie had, in fact, possession of the basketball. So Manhattan up by 1. Stewart calling out signals, trying to start the offense here for the Jaspers. Jewell. Roberts looks to work against Akpo, and he travels. Good defense, Bryce Akpo.
Exactly. He didn't get fooled like Long did on the previous one. He just stayed with his man. They're trying to create a little miscommunications with those dribble handoffs. Nice job there by Akpo.
Pass ahead now to Moultrie, who gets bombed out on the wing, and it's the second foul of the game against either team here with 8:52 remaining.
Yeah, that might explain why the shooting's so good. The aggressive defense, right? I mean, they're both shooting high percentages here, both teams.
Devin Williams, the freshman, into the game and knocks down the jump shot from the elbow.
Yeah, that's what I suggest. You get more of a guard type guy in that area, and Williams has been getting more and more minutes here recently, so he's going to say, yeah, when you get the ball in the middle, shoot it. Yeah, put me in, coach.
James Jewell has to run down a bad handoff. Jewell really struggling with the handle right now. His kick out goes to Paget, and it's another Jaspers turnover.
Well, you know when you preheat your oven, and it says 5 minutes. Well, that's what Canisius did. They preheated their oven, and now it's ready to cook. And that's what they're doing defensively. They're just playing better defense. They've brought in a couple new players. It's clear to me that the coaching staff, you want minutes? I know you can shoot. I know you can hit three. But can you consistently give me that defensive effort? And that's what's expected now.
Staveski to Dinkins out at the top. Staveski looks to drive, gets it inside the long, count it. He'll go to the line. A chance to finish a three-point play.
Well, what's impressive about that is, number one, Staveski got in there like a dart, but that was a tough catch. That was a really good catch there. So, boy, it's amazing, isn't it, Jay, when a guy makes a three like Long did about 6-8 possessions ago, and then he hustles on the offensive board. Of course, he's had to sit out a few games with injury, so he just keeps developing better and better and better. He's got the length. I love his temperament too. Even when he makes a big play, he just, okay, I got it.
Long makes the and one, and Canisius is up by 4.
Well, Manhattan, they better tighten up their offensive passing and set some better screens, or they're going to be in trouble here again.
Roberts. Handoff now to Stewart. Bench points there for Canisius, up 13-2, and that with T.J. Gatson not available off the bench today. Take a timeout. Canisius up by 4 here in Buffalo this afternoon. This is college basketball.
I didn't know I was a gourmet cook in my spare time. Stouffer's lasagna comes to mind. Anyways, yeah, actually the building is kind of, even though it's a promotional day, it feels a little quiet here. Maybe it's the Bills hangover, still kind of upset for last week's performance, but who knows? But they're definitely playing with more energy, and they're figuring out the zone, so that's why they've gone on this little run here.
Let's see how Manhattan responds. Nelson gets inside the kick to the corner, just taking the game. Raziel Hyan, he misses the shot, but then Roberts is fouled on the offensive rebound attempt by Staveski, I believe.
Well, I just love that pass from Brennan. He already knew as it was coming to him out of peripheral vision that he knew his teammate Hyan there was wide open. It was a good shot. He just didn't knock it down.
Hyan, freshman out of Israel, averaging 5 points per game. Alley-oop to Roberts, who just slams it home. And it cuts the lead now to 23-21.
Maybe that's why he shoots 73%. Nice set play, though. Good back pick by them.
Staveski's pass is deflected by Stewart. And Stewart lays it up in, and we're tied at 23.
Remember we talked about earlier about Staveski was casual with the ball. Well, that's another example of it. You got to respect the length of your opponent and put something on those passes. That one-hand pass, got to put some zip on it.
Dinkins, Staveski. Nothing happened offensively this time for Canisius. Now Dinkins looks to drive, has it knocked free, and it's run down by Nelson. Nelson. And there is Roberts on the follow, and he slams it home. And a timeout called by Canisius. For the Griffs, down by 2 all of a sudden. We'll keep it right here as Reggie Witherspoon talks it over with his troops. Let's take a look.
Your passing. The passing is too casual for my liking, and Manhattan's certainly taking advantage of that. And it's six turnovers for the Griffs here. Against the zone, you wouldn't expect that too much.
Nelson and Stewart flashed out to Staveski on that play. They kicked the ball, so the ball remains in possession of Canisius with 26 to shoot on the clock.
Yeah, that's like coaching 101, right, Jay? After a timeout, okay, instead of our normal 3-2, we're going to trap out of it, right? You got to expect that. The big's got to come get the ball, or anyone's got to come get the ball and not have this side to side.
Jenkins. Staveski still 30 feet from the basket. Staveski in the corner. Trouble there. Back out to Dinkins, 8 to shoot. Henderson steps back, takes a shot, and doesn't touch the rim. But then Henderson is able to steal the ball right back. Staveski from 3, in and out, no good. Henderson with the rebound, and he is fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
That's the second time we've had sequential crazy plays, right? It seemed like one team had it, then they didn't, then they got it back. And, of course, that leads to wide open shots, but they're just not falling right now for Canisius.
So Henderson goes to the line. Honored before the game. on scoring 1,000 points in his career here at Canisius. Knocks that down. Jordan at 13.3 points per game.
Nice to see his parents out on the court getting the picture. We talked to them quite a bit as they come in from Cincinnati. I know the father had the nice blue and gold, I should say, sweater for the occasion. Nice touch there.
His son now with 6 points in this game. They're tied at 25. Stewart. Almost lost the handle there. Brennan has it back to Stewart. Stewart on the double team finds Nelson. Ant Nelson. Step back jumper. In and out, no good. And Xavier Long with a strong rebound.
I think Manhattan's much better when Nelson handles the ball primarily rather than Stewart.
Jenkins in the corner. Ball fake. Pull up. Back rim, no good. And Robertson, an easy rebound.
He made the right read, just didn't execute it. That's exactly what you got to do.
Stewart, quick three. Nothing but net for Samir Stewart.
I hope Stewart didn't hear me and I offended him on that last comment, but we said earlier, you got to recognize that he'll pull it up from deep.
Stewart with 8 points. Jaco Fritz. Swing over. Henderson to Fritz. Back out to Staveski. Jenkins. Out to Xavier Long. His three. Almost banked home, but Roberts just grabs the rebound.
Yeah, Fritz touched that ball twice in the middle, and they got nothing out of it, really, and they got to get more out of those middle touches.
Oh, and Nelson with a nice behind-the-back move, but then misses the layup.
I think he got a little hip push there that Canisius got away with. That was a beautiful move.
Inside, Xavier Long, back out to Henderson. Wide open three. Nothing but net.
You know what's really cool about that? Fritz did an NBA cut. He was at the foul line instead of waiting there. He cut, and that drew two defenders, and then a beautiful kick-out pass there. That was a very nice play there. The three men really helping each other.
Henderson now with 9 points. Henderson drawing the defensive assignment of Ant Nelson. Hyen loses the handle momentarily. And the ball is deflected by Henderson with 7 to shoot. It'll be Manhattan basketball without the inbound from the backcourt.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that this will go right away to number 3, and he'll go to work here. He's being coy down there. I think he's going to come flying to the ball here. Wow, I'm surprised at that. I thought
Stewart's going to go. Stewart a little out of control, and he gets bailed out with a bump foul. He had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, nowhere to go. That was an interesting philosophy over there. It looks like the trainer's right on top of things there. You know what? The logic there, just to clarify, is if you get a guy the ball, 48 feet away from the basket, and he can go vertical, he can get right. That's why you do that, right? And you just got to make him go side to side. Fritz has a propensity to just getting these, fouls, and he's frustrated because they're really not intentional, but they happen with him a lot, and then he ends up having to sit down a little bit. Not in this case, though.
Stewart takes a seat as we're getting knocked hard to the floor. Got a media timeout coming up here next whistle, apparently, or maybe another couple of seconds and then the whistle after that, but nonetheless, chance for Stewart to get some rest here during this media timeout.
He's got like that great strength, that upper body.
Brennan will inbound. Maslenikov back on the floor. Good communication defensively in that inbound by Canisius. Nelson with the mismatch. Goes up, counted if it goes, does not. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. When we come back, that foul goes against Trey Jenkins. We're tied at 28 in Buffalo. This is college basketball on ESPN.
We have such good luck in nature. So cute.
The tape is Canisius really struggles with 2-point field goal defense. And to that point, of the 28 points Manhattan has, 20 are paint. I know I mentioned earlier in the broadcast that, the distance, cumulative distance of shots made, they've made 13 baskets. Not very long. They do have 2 threes, but Canisius got to tighten that up.
And Nelson knocks down both foul shots and gives his team a 2-point lead here with under 4 minutes to go. Manhattan extending their defense. The Griffs get tied up, and then a foul, bailout of sorts there as Marquise Watson will pick up the foul.
I would say, Jay, 3 or 4 occasions now we've seen we're not being strong with the ball. I remember when I was an assistant to Coach Beeline. We talked a little bit earlier about that. Play St. Peter's, we would just get smacked on our wrists all practice to remind us that St. Peter's was going to do that. So I'm sure that'll come up at halftime.
Henderson tries to drive back out to Dinkins. Dinkins uses the screen, gives up his dribble though. Henderson's got to make something happen here. Out to Maslenikov, to Dinkins. He rises up, his shot off the mark, no good, and Roberts goes up and skies for that rebound.
Big time rebound, just great defense. No inside out, you got to have someone behind that zone to catch the ball actually on that hockey pass we talk about.
Watson gets inside, his layup no good, and Fritz clears.
Maybe some early offense here, Jay, in this transition before they set up. Well, that would have been a nice pass there to Fritz.
Fritz. Hand off now. Dinkins gets inside. Cross-court pass to Henderson is 3 off the mark. Maslenikov keeps it alive, but it's run down on the play by Ant Nelson.
Boy, Dinkins, that was a nice find there. That's what I was talking about. Get behind the defense, find the open shooter.
Nelson works his way inside, misses an easy layup. Cisse, though, gets the rebound and then gets fouled by Jordan Henderson.
Nelson, he's so casual. I mentioned it earlier, and he just goes in effortlessly with that left hand. But again, the point that he's getting in so easy. See, against man-to-man, you don't have to make the extra pass if you're so confident with your point guard. And he leads them in a lot of categories. And he's a very confident young player.
Watson on the inbound against Fritz. Watson swings it over to Nelson. Tough pass there. Nelson pulls up his jump shot. Nothing but net for Ant Nelson.
That was not an easy shot. Speaking of almost behind the basket there. Boy, I always talk about flows in games, right? And this one's had 3 or 4 each team. See if Canisius can finish strong here these last 2 minutes.
Nelson now with 8 points for the Jaspers. Staveski. Dinkins. Now to Fritz. In the corner. Jordan Henderson, his 3. It's going to be short. Rebound tapped out. Run down by Maslenikov. Right back inside. Fritz. Off-balance shot, but he is fouled by Josh Roberts, and Jakob Fritz will go to the line to shoot 2.
That millisecond that Fritz delays really you can just see, and we've seen a lot of good shot blockers, rim protectors, whatever you want to call them. So this was good ballman right there. Right there. See that hesitation? Now draws that. He's got to, get that even in tighter, use his lower body to position himself. It's looking at the assist-to-turnover ratios, and it's mainly guards, right? Leaders. Fritz is 11th, right? So that's the good news. The bad news is he thinks so much pass first that against someone like this, the opportunities are limitless in that middle of the zone.
64% foul shooter, misses both, and it's still a 4-point lead for the Jaspers. Nick Brennan. Pass goes to Watson, and Watson steps on the sideline. 4-point lead for Manhattan. Subs come into the game here. Samir Stewart gets arrested, and he comes back out for Manhattan. Coming up at halftime, Griffin Della Penna with our halftime program here on ESPN3.
That was good defense by Dinkins there to get that turnover.
Fritz finds the cutter. Long, oh my.
Well, you called it. You got the Dick Enberg in there, the oh my, but I'll tell you what, it's certainly appropriate. But the timing of the cut, Fritz to long, was perfect. We haven't seen that. That's what you got to do. Here's Dinkins putting on another defensive show.
Stewart, though, comes away with it. To Nelson. Boy, Dinkins hustling over to cover up on Nelson. Nelson still with the handle. Nelson gets inside. Tough pass to Josh Roberts, deflected off Canisius. It'll be Manhattan basketball.
Boy, Dinkins, though, you nailed it. I mean, that's hard to do, move your feet against a really good player. That was a tough call there. It was a 50-50 call there. But the good news is they only got 5 seconds on the shot clock.
Goes right into Nelson, though. Goes up and has it rejected by 2 Griffs, Long and Fritz.
Might get numbers here, Jay, if they play this right.
Dinkins to Fritz. Long wants it. Back to Fritz. And he is fouled on the way to the basket. He'll shoot 2.
See these NBA cuts, I call them, which basically all I'm saying, you just go vertical when you're high post. People turn their back, and they've done it now, 2 of the last 3 possessions, and it's pretty, isn't it? It's good basketball, and it's eye contact basketball. So here it is, nice pass in there. They not cut immediately, and then because you're the most dangerous player. Nice job there by Fritz, and he's more comfortable doing that, right, than pulling up and shooting a 17-footer.
Josh Roberts picks up his 2nd foul. It's kind of a surprise Rashawn Storrs maybe not opting to bring him out of the game here in the last 41 seconds. Fritz now missing his last 3 free throws.
Well, you know what? You make a good point, and he may be thinking, offense, that's risky, right? But either way, I'd have a guy over there just in case. That would be my my recommendation to get Padgett or someone like that back in there and not to pick up a solo. And maybe he'll do it here with this timeout.
Samir Stewart, or Rashawn Storrs using his first half using it to lose a timeout. We'll keep it right here. It'll be Matt.
Coaches, we felt more comfortable. And with their previous coach, Steve Masiello, he was entertaining. And sometimes he would, there's former player Crumpton there.
Jermaine Crumpton, 2018 co-conference player of the year here in this conference.
One of the many great players from Niagara Falls High School, too, over the period of time there, about 20 years ago, 10 to 20 years ago.
Manhattan now letting the clock run down here. Again, Dinkins right on Nelson. Nelson rises up, his shot, nothing but net. Dinkins is right with it.
Yeah, good player, good shot. You force him to take a 17-footer with a handy face. If you're as a coach, you just say, okay, let's move on.
6 seconds to go. Staveski swings it out, and it's off the mark. Henderson gets up a prayer and graces the front of the rim, and Canisius will go to the locker room down 4.
Yeah, no urgency there. Clock management wasn't very good. It was a set play for Henderson, just took too long to develop.
Let's see what happens in the second half. We got the halftime.
Canisius will sweep the season series. All that and more coming to you live now with second half coverage, as I will send it down to Jay Moran and Richard Walsh courtside.
And both teams going out with their starting 5s. They went with the beginning of this game to start this second half. Manhattan going from our left to our right. And with the basketball, Marquise Watson. 6'5" guard, gives it up now. Josh Roberts. Hand off to Ant Nelson. Right back inside it goes. Cisse looks to go up and draws contact. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Boy, Nelson with that quick pass there. Again, no action in front of him as far as Canisius defenders to make that a tough pass. If you can keep your hands active, you don't know what's going on behind you, you might save a basket, right? And that would have been the case there. That was a good foul, though, there by Fritz.
His second for Adam Cisse. 63% foul shooter, knocks down the first.
Yeah, I don't even think Cisse took a shot in the first half there, or maybe 1 or 2, but that was a nice set play. That's a good move, good coaching move to get a big guy a little more involved in the offense.
And now Manhattan will extend their defense after the make by Cisse. Staveski gets it into front court, and Manhattan will fall back into that zone, it looks like.
Yeah, why not, right? It's done a good job. Canisius did show with that high-low, nice offense. See if they can keep doing that.
Staveski goes baseline, gives up his dribble, and then gives up the basketball, but Jaco Fritz goes to the floor to save the possession. 4 on the shot clock. Does Staveski recognize it? I don't know. They reset the shot clock, and this is going to have to be a violation. Yeah, right. I took my eye off the clock. I think it was down to 2 seconds. I looked up and it had 29 on it. So it should be a shot clock violation.
Yes, yes. Staveski, he just has got to learn that there's going to be early help on that baseline, right? And there was. And I believe it was Roberts. Great defense. Just take that pull-up, hang in the air, shot I often talk about, and do that. I got to believe you're right, Jay. I looked up, I think it was 4, and next thing, like you said, it was 28.
Then you'll look at it over there right now to make an official determination. Either way, it's going to be trouble for Canisius, even if they were to retain possession here. I can't imagine they have much time on the clock. Shot clock, that is, of course.
You know, we often talk about timing, too, and when Stavesky goes there, that should precipitate someone else cutting or someone floating diagonally so he can make a pass. So when he gets caught like that, and obviously he went too far, then he should say, okay, well, the defense was good, so now what do I do? Oh, right to Henderson flashing, or swing it over to Dinkins. It's got to be a set play. You know, it's like a check down, right? We always used a lot of football, and now it's just the same concept.
The ball's going to go on the side, and it looks like it's going to be Canisius basketball. Wow, this is a huge break for the Griffs. They'll put 4 on the shot clock, so the Griffs will at least be able to put together some sort of play here.
Manhattan can't be. It looks like they're looking at video over there of their own, but they're not making much of a stink of it.
Henderson, quick 3, does not hit the rim, so they'll play on here. Would have been a shot clock violation.
I think they call that poetic justice.
Yes. So Nelson getting chased by a double team, gives it up to Watson, and wide open inside was Josh Roberts, but he couldn't handle the pass. He had an easy dunk there. Roberts looks to go to work, trying to take himself out of position. Brennan back to Roberts. And he misses that short jumper.
Yeah, Brennan, that was a really nice look. But I love how they attacked the pressure of Canisius and made that long diagonal pass. And like you said, Roberts he was thinking ESPN highlight for his 3rd dunk of the game, I think.
Fritz to Henderson. Henderson, step back jumper contested. That's going to be short, and the rebound controlled by Brennan. Nelson pulls up his shot. The lefty a little short there. Oh, that should have been a foul on Cisse, and in fact will be one. A little late coming, but he gets the foul for knocking Fritz to the floor.
Yeah, that was an easy call, albeit it was late. The whistle was late. Nelson, sometimes his shot discipline is not what, as a coach, I would like. I mean, I know obviously he's got the talent to make those shots, but he's got to get other people involved because it's so easy to defend a guy like that if he's just going to pound it.
Trey Dinkins, 2 points in the first half for Canisius, getting the start today. Henderson, Fritz, swings it to Dinkins. He looks to go baseline. Runs into a triple team. Finds Fritz, though. His layup, though, is rejected by Roberts. Nelson turns the corner, gets inside. A lot of contact there, no call. Henderson comes away. Dinkins on the run. The kick to Stavesky. Wide open 3. Nothing but net.
Well, there was a lot of contact at the one end. Great block down here by Roberts. So, you know, the sequence in this game, we've seen this now. They get up and running. Some great plays have been made in these transition opportunities.
Well, the inconsistency that we're seeing here is probably why both teams have sub-500 records. Pass inside. Roberts can't finish.
Boy, Roberts has left about 4 points, maybe 6 in the last.
And Cisse will get the foul for bodying up against Stavesky down low.
See, Stavesky went there and he drew the foul, but clearly there was nowhere to go. So if he stops 5 feet from there and does a quick reversal, I'm pretty sure, based on Niagara shooting 45% from 3 the other night, they'll get a good shot. There's a great shot. Right?
There's a good shot for Jakob Fritz to cut the lead to 1.
You know why those work, Jay? Because of spacing, right? You're automatically set up with great spacing. What a concept.
McBrennan. Logan Padgett into the game now. Hands off to Watson. Back to Brennan. Nelson. Nelson never looks like he's in a hurry. Brennan fires the shot. Maslenikov slaps it up against the glass. Gets called for goaltending.
You know, good for Maslenikov to be there, but he didn't need to do that. All he needed to do it because he was so well positioned, just tap it out like Bill Russell used to get the fast break. Seriously,
yep.
That's the way to do it. No need to do that. I mean, he negated what was a great recognition of helping out his teammates there. Just keep it in play and off to the races.
Stavesky. Trey Dinkins. And again, Manhattan in that zone. Henderson to Maslenikov. Open 3. Off the mark. Nelson with the rebound. Marquise Watson against Fritz. Watson makes a tough shot even tougher. Goes out of bounds. Let's say it's off Canisius.
Well, they were so used to talking about Manhattan getting into the paint in the first half that they're like, wait a minute, there's guys in front of me now here. So that was a really good play. Canisius ran down there. Maslenikov didn't stay down low the whole time, and he's got to step up and make that. We showed Crumpton before. He was really good at making that shot, wasn't he?
Absolutely. As Brennan comes free, his shot no good, and Henderson grabs the rebound. Ahead to Staveski. Fritz over to Dinkins in the corner. He'll take that three. Nothing but net. We're tied at 39.
Fritz did a great job there of looking away to the other wing. He made the defender there play two for a half a second, and he made the right choice. And again, talked about the big man. He's got to be the best assist turnover big man in the conference.
At Nelson. Slips it inside. And the ball off the mark. Tough catch there for Walden. It'll be Manhattan ball when we come back. It's tied at 39 in the second half here in Buffalo. This is college basketball today on ESPN3. In this game so far, but Nelson will certainly influencing the game with a ball in his hand a good portion of the time.
Yeah, he's a tough matchup. He has, I think, one of the leaders in the MAC in assists. His decision making sometimes is not so good, and Henderson, and they're both struggling from three.
Nelson looking to post up, and he'll go to the line to shoot two.
Yeah, well, that's his versatility, right? He's had the, he probably has the ball, 60% of the time, maybe even 70, especially when Stewart's out. He's a tough matchup. That's just a veteran, taking, a freshman to a quick tutorial on post defense.
And Jakob Fritz picks up the foul, his third.
Yeah, remember he got that one cheap one, and he had the one good hard foul there, but that's,
They'll send Fritz to the bench as Bryce Akpo comes back into the game for the Griffs.
And now we'll see how that ball movement with Fritz out offensively, how it sometimes sticks a little bit. Hopefully they will adjust to the personnel out there.
Nelson makes both. He has 13 points to lead the way for the Jaspers this afternoon.
Maybe get Dinkins a look here.
Dinkins being pressured. Jordan Henderson. Akpo looked inside, goes cross court to Dinkins. He puts on the floor and then gives up his dribble. Needs help. Finds it. Henderson, 15-footer, nothing but net.
That's just talking about leadership. That's a fifth year. I always talk about a strong outlet. Dinkins was, he like you said, he picked up his dribble, and Henderson just bailed him out. That's good senior leadership, and that shot is one he's very proficient at.
Oh, right inside to Roberts. He gets pushed, count the basket, he'll go to the line. Chance to finish a three-point play.
Yeah, that's like a 20-foot pass. It's perfect, right? Just perfect. The rotation of defense, and then we know that. Look at this. Look at this pass. Look at that. Bang. And I love how high it was, too, right? It was easy to catch. Right above his waistline there. And then he made a tough finish there.
So the and one opportunity for Josh Roberts, 56% foul shooter, is good.
So you see how Roberts really affects the game, right? With his unique ability to post up, make the mid-range jumper, and then find the open.
Oh, long to Akpo, and Akpo is fouled by Padgett. He was going for the slam.
It's pretty to watch. Like I said, when that timing is good, right? It looks so simple. You say, why don't they do that every play? Of course, the teams adjust, but that was just a beautiful timing by Akpo and he and Long. And again, I would suggest Brennan, that was a nice foul. It's, there are such a thing as good fouls.
Akpo 49% foul shooter, but he makes that first one.
It's got a nice touch. I was just thinking, I'm teaching a money management guys. There's such a thing as a good foul, and I thought such a thing as good debt. I gotta let that go.
Always thinking, Professor.
Yeah. It's all right. Well, no one's really separated here all day, right? It's what you'd expect, like you said, with the teams in this current status where they are in the MAC standings, that you'd expect this type of game.
Samir Stewart goes cross court to Brennan. Brennan puts it on the floor, gets inside, and it's rejected by Taj Staveski. Then Dinkins on the run has it stripped from behind by Stewart, who sends it to the length of the floor, and then it's intercepted by Staveski.
Well, you know what? The Keystone Cops have been here 3 times today. They just got to clean this up. But Staveski, what started off was just a tremendous block, wasn't that? And
wow.
then it became an intramural game for about 15, 18 seconds.
I felt at home for a second. Yeah. Dinkins turns the corner, gets inside, kicks it out. Henderson, open 3, nothing but net, and Canisius up by 1.
See, but Dinkins was under control to kick it out. That's the difference. The help was exactly the same place. He was much, the maneuvering speed he had allowed him to recognize the next most logical pass. Nice job.
Dinkins pounding Stewart. Gives it up now to Paget. Paget checked by Long. Hand off to Brennan. Stewart. Out to Paget. He gets inside against Long. A little floater, no good. Good rebound there, and putting it back up and in is Josh Roberts.
Talk about when you length there. Great rebound.
Cross-court pass. Henderson flashes inside, lays it up and in.
Nice job there, hanging in the air, using your body to keep away the contact. Early offense is a good idea for the Griffs.
16 points for Henderson as the Jaspers throw it away.
And keep in mind, Canisius didn't play. Manhattan did play Friday. Canisius got a break here, home court. Maybe they can turn on the afterburners here. It might be a little tired team out there, and the Manhattan guys play a lot of minutes, right?
Kick out to Dinkins, open 3, nothing but net. That's a 4-point lead and a timeout called by Manhattan. Going to win over Fairfield. Corey, of course, played here for 2 years. Also played at Baylor beforehand. And had a great night that night for a win over Fairfield.
Needed every one of those points. I think he went to Timon.
Timon, yep.
There you go. I knew I could, Wikipedia it right over there with you.
Nelson to Stewart coming out of the timeout. Pass goes to Brennan. Kick to the wing. Jump shot there, and nothing but net for Samir Stewart.
Yeah, and he was under duress. That was a nice closeout there by Long. Great shot by Stewart.
So play out of the huddle to Samir Stewart. Produces his 11th point, cuts the lead to 1. Dinkins, long 3, nothing but net.
Boy, I was hoping he'd get going because it, rewarded the defense. That was a nice set play. They ran a high screen and roll, and then he just peeled back off of it, and they forgot about him.
And then Dinkins swats it away against Stewart. And then the ball is tied up between Long and Stewart. A held ball. Possession will go to Canisius. When we come back from this timeout, it's a 4-point Canisius lead here in the second half. This is college basketball on ESPN3.
Better time to join Delta Sonic's unlimited car wash plan.
36 very happy sets of parents.
Yes, I would think so. You can avoid the college tuition bill. You're doing something, yeah. Yuri Fritz not available today for Canisius. Same with TJ Gadsden. Coming out of the timeout now. Canisius up by 4.
5 for 7 from 3 this half, and it's because they're making good decisions and they're getting the ball inside out.
Xavier Long just backs his way in and finishes with the jump hook.
You can just see the confidence growing each game. Like you said, he sat out a little bit. Reggie's urging them to a little more intensity. He senses the tiredness maybe of Manhattan, maybe go on a little streak here, a little run.
Stewart, help defense there, Maslenikov. And the pass is deflected out of bounds by Long.
Yeah, that was just a very lazy pass there that was right to be picked off. They're lucky that was so short.
That was Raziel Hyen, who just checked into the game, threw the pass, and then gets a seat back on the bench.
I've been known to do a quick substitution like that.
And it does bring Nelson back into the game.
Yeah.
So try to settle things down for Manhattan, their biggest deficit of the day here. Pass inside, and a foul will go against Maslenikov, but Cisse couldn't catch the pass.
Yeah, it's take the arm around and pass interference, right? Just enough to do that. The coach did. Doing a nice job on Nelson, kind of making him give up the ball. Canisius, and I obviously endorse that philosophy.
Brendan was in trouble there. The ball deflected out of bounds and be Manhattan basketball in the corner.
Whenever you ask the ref for that five count, they always said 4.5. Every time.
So from the corner, they inbound.
Which is harder place, too. Oh, nice play.
Yeah, Nelson right to Stewart, but then Stewart throws up the air ball out of bounds. Canisius basketball.
See, a guy's thinking like that, right? He knew what was going on there, and Stewart was like, man, that was too easy. Nice play there by Nelson.
So Griff's now with a chance to extend the 6-point lead. Stavisky in the front court. Now Dinkins is really heating it up here in the second half. Dinkins with 11 points now. Henderson leads Griff scores with 16. Stavisky to Long, lays it up and in.
They ran a specific play for Stavisky, but that's really encouraging for Canisius because he learned that time, right? He didn't go quite as far. And then Long is really having a fine game offensively here this afternoon.
Stewart hands it back to Watson. Cross-court pass, Stewart. He looks to drive, a little out of control, but finds Watson. Back to the corner. Nelson, nice ball fake, gets inside, lays it up, and in.
Well, he had a great shot fake. Then he had a hang dribble fake, so he put 2 fakes in there. That's just, again, his ability to be clever with the ball. One of the better players in the MAC for sure.
Dinkins settles it down right in front of his coach, Reggie Witherspoon, and they'll start the offense. Dinkins to Maslenikov at the elbow. He'll take that shot, and it does not go down. Long had a hand on an offensive rebound, but then steps on the end line.
Boy, Maslenikov said, what do I have to do? And it was a soft shot, too, and he didn't hesitate. That is a soft spot. Got to get a stop here, though. Easier said than done. Extending pressure, I think, is a good idea, too, here. Taking the ball out of Nelson's hands.
Stewart to Josh Roberts. Hand back to Nelson. Henderson right with them. Nelson, though, carries on. Stops and then kicks. Brennan from 3. That's going to be short. Henderson grabs the rebound. Griffs look to push. They have numbers if they hurry. Dinkins over to Stavisky. Manhattan does a good job of getting back.
Exactly, Jay. That was a very good job.
Henderson gets inside, gets knocked down, and Jordan Henderson will go to the line to shoot 2.
Well, after Manhattan did do a good job of going, then they kind of relaxed, right? We just survived the storm, so to speak, and then bang, it reversed the ball. Henderson recognized they were kind of falling asleep at the switch. Got to the line. Not a lot of foul shots today. The Griffs have been shooting them better up until recently. They seemed like they had one bad game. I think it was against Ryder, and then the last 5 or 6 they've been better. Not so well today here at 60%. Got to get that up. In a tight game like this, you're going to need him, right?
Henderson's an 83% foul shooter. He makes both. He has 18 now, and the Griffs are up by 8.
Yeah, nice balance they got between Dinkins, Long, and Henderson.
Watson looks to go and lays it up and in. That's an impressive finish from Watson.
Yeah, that was very athletic. But again, there's got to be earlier help there to at least make him go side to side.
Griffs have had their way here offensively in the second half. Henderson, his pass is deflected. Henderson gets it back, but then there's a foul. His bodies go to the floor. It looks like it's going to be Josh Roberts who picks up the foul when Long got knocked to the floor. That's a third on Josh Roberts.
Reggie's doing a nice refereeing demonstration over there. We've noticed a couple times here, the fouls are obvious, but the whistles were late, and that would be the perfect example right there.
Devin Williams checks into the game here. Gives Staveski a little bit of a break as we're coming up to another media timeout. Henderson. Williams right inside Long. Double team comes down and Long gives up the basketball. Stewart looks to attack to Nelson. Ball all over the place. Who's going to come down with it? Devin Williams. And the Griffs have numbers. Dinkins. Back to Maslenikov. Lays it up and in.
That's the way, you know, make it a 94-feet game there and finish. Love to see the bigs. George running the court well. Maslenikov, good defense at one end. Quick transition at the other. Extend this lead before the next break.
It looked like Manhattan was going to make it a 4-point game. Now it's an 8-point game. Nelson. Cross court, Stewart rises up his three. Nothing but net. Samir Stewart.
You know, Dinkins is doing a really good job on defense, but for the guy like that, you just can't give him any even hint of an opening because he's made at least 4 of those today that I can recall.
14 points for Samir Stewart. Maslenikov. Devin Williams. Swings it out now to Long. Long looks to attack. A lot of contact. Count it. Xavier Long will go to the line. A chance to finish a 3-point play when we come back. Canisius up by 7. They can make it 8 when we come back. This is college basketball in Buffalo on ESPN3.
To you, it may just be an elevator.
Here goes nothing.
But for a young homeowner becoming their parents, it's a learning opportunity.
Come on in. The more the merrier. Paris, huh?
His switch to man-to-man defense, and we always talk about concentration at the rim and physicality. And Long, it gets up to 16 points. I believe he had 11 at halftime, so it's good to see that he's adding on. It wasn't just a one-half wonder type thing. And we thought he might have a good game because of the offensive rebounding, and he made that early 3, I think, his first shot. So he's maintained a high level of offensive excellence here.
Foul by Dinkins as Stewart gets it over the timeline. It's going to be team foul number 5, I believe, for Canisius, the second on Dinkins.
Well, that's Stewart's strength, right? He kind of sucks you in like you think you can get the ball. And Dinkins, as we've said, has been very active with his feet defensively. When you're exposed like that, there's no one near the ball, but it's one-on-one. The referee's right there. They're going to try to clean it up for sure.
Roberts out near center court. That's not where they want him with the basketball. He hands off to Watson. Checked by Devin Williams. Roberts, again, way away from his office. Roberts trying to finally hand it up. Now looks to attack against Fritz. Lays it up. Count it. Josh Roberts will go to the line. Chance to finish a 3-point play.
You're absolutely right. They don't want it there, but he's like, they gave it to me twice, Coach. I had no other choices. But what's really happening is Henderson's doing a wonderful job on Watson. That's his, Fritz going out there, that's his 4th there. He's always the last line of defense, it seems, doesn't it, And he just got to back off and make him, like you said, he's not going to shoot anything anywhere near a 3-pointer.
3 Jaspers average double points. Nelson, Stewart, and Roberts, and all 3 are in double digits today. For Roberts, that's his 14th. Jordan Henderson to Maslenikov. Back to Henderson. Looks to drive, gets inside, no good. Long with the offensive rebound. The kick out, Dinkins. They can slow it up. Maslenikov, Devin Williams. He goes baseline. Williams. Fancy pass off the mark, and here comes Stewart. Stewart goes in for the layup. Rejected by Jordan Henderson.
Great timing, great timing.
Once again, Manhattan with a chance to cut into the grip lead with layups and not coming away with anything. Maslenikov able to run down the basketball, maybe take an extra step.
Yeah, it looked like a little cha-cha-cha there, but he got away with it.
And a timeout called by Reggie Witherspoon with 11 seconds on the shot clock. We'll keep it right here. A 5-point Canisius lead.
Well, Reggie's recognizing that the man-to-man
Danny
young
Haskell,
people on their phone.
Dolan.
What a shot.
On their phone, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Stubbs, and there they are. Cheyenne. Oh, we have one of them helping out the crew here today. That's awesome.
Staveski to Long. Back to Staveski. Shot clock winding down. Staveski's three. No good. Long rebound. Taj Staveski gets it.
Boy, Reggie was upset because they didn't run the set play, but they bailed out again with offensive rebounds.
And now a turnover by the Griffs. Long pass ahead to Brennan. Brennan goes up, and he is fouled by Taj Staveski. He'll go to the line to shoot two.
Did you notice how Brennan went up a little stronger there? They got their attention challenging at the rim, right? And I really like the way Brennan went up there. I think this is a game that we've seen more 60-foot passes than I've ever seen. You know, it's just it's fun to watch, right? Because obviously it's a guy catches it and is running. It's risky, but it makes for entertaining offensive full court basketball.
Brennan, 73% foul shooter, knocks down the first. He has 9 points. Fifth-year player, averaging just under 10 points per game.
Takes his time, knocks him down there.
3-point game.
See if Canisius can run their offense, keep that ball hopping, and get an easy basket, or maybe a back cut if they overplay.
Staveski. Long three. Nothing but net. Taj Staveski.
Nice ball movement there by Henderson, and Maslenikov came out at just the right time to make like a secondary screen.
Back up to a 6-point game as Nelson brings it into front court. Into the corner, Brennan is three. Well off the mark. Rebound tapped around and out of bounds off the Griffs.
Tough to rebound on air ball, right? Seriously, you're expecting something there. Boy, but Nelson, he snaps his passes. Staveski got away with one there because he wasn't right there where he should have been, and I think Brennan won't miss that too often.
Stewart. His long three, no good, and the Griffs grab the rebound.
I will say he goes up with confidence, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and he's not that big a guy, but he's got nice elevation on that shot. Back to the zone, it looks like.
Dinkins to Staveski. Staveski swings it back out. Dinkins looks to drive, gets inside. Oh, a lot of contact. That's going to be a charge against Trey Dinkins.
Well, Trey should have just done that, the Mac Signia there on the floor. Just pull up, right?
Timeout, final media timeout.
So, good to see Henderson after he sat out a few games there coming back. And as you said, he had a nice presentation there with 1,000 point. Boy, Canisius talking 18 assists on 25 baskets. And I always talk about that Jesuit math. There you go, 72%. That's really good sharing the ball, obviously. In comparison, Manhattan only has 9 assists.
Stewart. Checked by Henderson. I think they want to get it to Nelson on a post up. Nelson gets it and the double team comes over. Nelson. Shot clock winding down. Nelson, does he recognize? He does. He looks to attack. And before he can get inside, foul or goal against Nelson.
Well, he's been pushing off a lot, right? That's just the way he plays, right? You thought, at least I thought when it was 5 seconds on the shot clock and he was 38 feet away, I thought he was going to launch it, but he's been doing this all game. And right there, see that? He initiated the contact. Yeah.
Looking on in disbelief. Actually, 2 officials called that, and I think they didn't necessarily agree, but one called it an offensive foul, and that's the one that ruled. It's Canisius basketball.
Well, that was great team defense by Canisius coming out of, and they need to do that for the next 3 minutes.
Long finds Henderson. Henderson, tough shot baseline, and a foul.
I think it's on Long, maybe pushing off.
Yep, I think you're right. Xavier Long picks up the foul on a push-off. 9th team foul against Canisius, the second on Xavier Long.
See, on that play, Henderson goes baseline. Maslenikov's got to go up the lane. We talk about stretching, right? And he didn't. So now the defender, George has got to recognize that and give Henderson a chance to make that strong outlet pass. And he's got a 16-footer on the left elbow there.
One in bonus for Stewart, a 73% foul shooter, nothing but net.
Very calm, right?
Well, they've been perfect this afternoon from the stripe. The Jaspers have.
Yeah, that's what you got to do on the road, right? Get a W there. They certainly have checked that box.
Meslenikov goes to the bench. Jaco Fritz comes back in, playing with 4 fouls. Also Marquise Watson on the floor for the Jaspers.
He gives them good length, talking about Watson as on-the-ball defender.
Stavesky to Henderson. A lot of basketball to be played here. Henderson finds Long. Long has a poke free. Run down on the play by Henderson. Henderson gets into the paint. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Boy, it's just good fortune for the Griffs that a senior, fifth-year senior gets the ball. 10, I looked up, 10 on the shot clock. Didn't panic, didn't need to, but he recognized it here. This is, it's 10, keeps going, he doesn't settle, and got a friendly whistle.
That foul goes against Josh Roberts, his 4th.
Shot that too quick.
Henderson with the miss.
Yeah, so you got the 2 bigs, right? Fritz and Roberts both have 4 here. But, of course, you just play this out pretty much now with 2.5 left.
Henderson makes the 2nd. Meslenikov comes back in, and I think Fritz will go back to the bench.
Yep. Little offense, defense, right?
19 points for Jordan Henderson today.
Solid, right? Not a great shooting day from 3, but just a good all-around game. He's done a lot of good things on this young man, too, so met that challenge pretty well.
Nelson, the swing over to Watson. He slashes and kicks and almost throws it away. Nice catch by Brennan. Nelson uses his body, gets inside, lays it off glass, and good.
No matter how much you emphasize he's left-handed, he still has that natural advantage, right? And like you said, that Euro step, and then definitely finishes at the rim.
3-point game now. Dinkins.
Back to the 3-2 here with that length up front with
Meslenikov. Hand off to Henderson, almost fumbles it. Then back inside to Meslenikov, and he is fouled by Brennan. George Meslenikov will go to the line to shoot 2.
So you want to go offense, defense, but Long, nice find there. Could have been a little higher, but see that you roll out of it, nice. Immediately touch pass. That's a good example of how unselfish the Griffs have been. Long had that for a millisecond and let it go.
Oh, it's going to be a 1 and bonus. Wow. That's a break for the Jaspers. Instead of 2 shots from Meslenikov, it's going to be a 1 and bonus, the 9th team foul against the Jaspers. Meslenikov at the line, 8 for 12 on the season.
Yeah, that is a tough break for the Griffs.
And he misses, so foul for profit right there. Nelson turns the corner. His shot off glass, no good. Rebound, Roberts grabs it. Then it's wrestled free, and Meslenikov comes up with it. Long pass ahead to Dinkins. Here he goes to the rack, and he is met at the rim by Cisse. Nelson looks to return. Nelson goes up, misses. Cisse puts it home, count it. He'll go to the line, a chance for a 3-point play, and also a chance to tie the game with 1:26 left on the clock.
Well, Dinkins, he went very hard on that one, but this game has had some interesting nuances, right? One of them, a lot of aggressive play at the rim with blocks, and this would be a perfect example right here. He's going to go strong. You're expecting a foul. A lot of times, poor referees anticipate that call here, and then Nelson still complaining about that, and then bang.
Cisse.
Oh.
Throws up a brick, but it goes down, and we're tied at 68.
Happened quickly, didn't it there? They just hung around long enough.
2 timeouts remaining for Canisius, 2 for Manhattan. Both teams will be in the double bonus the rest of the way. Dinkins almost loses the handle. Fritz, left alone, back to Henderson. Open 3, nothing but net for the senior.
Boy, he's made a lot of big shots. That certainly could go down as one of his bigger ones here. A lot of time left, but again, Fritz, they suck. Stewart, right? So, but you know what? I'm thinking Brennan, they're going to overplay and watch out for him shooting a three in the corner. He likes that left corner, right? You're certainly going to try to stop Nelson and Stewart, but keep an eye on that secondary guy. In this case, it might be Brennan or Roberts at the rim.
Brennan is a 40% three-point shooter. Stewart with the basketball.
Boy, Henderson's really annoying Nelson.
Swing over to Watson. He looks to attack. Knocked free by Stavisky and out of bounds. It hit Fritz, who was laying on the end line. So it'll be Manhattan basketball with 9 to shoot.
Boy, that was a tough break for the Griffs because that was their ball. Boy, Henderson is really taking Nelson out of the game, and Nelson's not enjoying that attention.
It hits Fritz just before he falls out of bounds. Oh, Brennan comes free, goes inside, count it! He'll go to the line, a chance for a three-point play and a chance to tie the game with 43.7 remaining.
Boy, there's many elements to that. That's exactly what you don't want. Remember I talked about spacing? Well, they just lined up vertically, and one thing I always believed in, forcing the ball away from the basket, so taking an angle so that can't happen. And then to finish at the rim, I must say I was thinking of Brennan making a three the other way, but I'll take credit. You know, why not? You know, it's a multiple choice. You know, you're going to get it right sooner or later.
Manhattan is perfect from the free throw line today.
That's huge.
One timeout remaining for Canisius.
Running that play for
Fritz. Hand off to Stavisky. Long. He'll launch that three. Misses. Rebound. Loose on the floor, and it's picked up by Stewart. Shot clock off. Manhattan in possession with 2 timeouts. It looks like they're not going to use one here.
No, I think they're probably shooting with under 4.
Nelson against Dinkins.
Yeah, that's.
Here comes Nelson. Nelson, step back jumper, misses, rebound. Comes free, and we're tied, and we are going to overtime.
Well, that was excellent defense there by Dinkins. You know, he had the ball the whole time. Not a bad play to have that a little bit here.
5th overtime game in series history. Of course, great one just a couple of years ago in the MAC tournament. Canisius winning that one to go to the semifinals before losing to Monmouth. That was back in Albany when the tournament was still held in Albany.
Boy, Roberts showed his quickness there, getting that jump ball, I should say. Beautiful.
Griffs, 92 and 49 all time in overtime. Stewart, long three, off the mark, long rebound, and away from the basketball. We have a foul.
It's on Stavisky. Brennan just out-hustled him to the rebound. He didn't sustain his head, I'm pretty sure. Yep, that was it. Shot goes up. Brennan went. Todd just a little late with the box up, so Brennan just created an opportunity. No surprise here late. The guys that are the veterans, right? They, like you said, they foul line success. There you go.
First miss of the game for Manhattan at the stripe. And the band finally gets to use their trademark response to a miss.
Patience. They had, there they go. Womp counter number 1. They got their new counter. I like that.
Canisius 3-1 all time against Manhattan in overtime. See if they can improve upon that today.
Didn't go with the womp on the second one.
Fritz to Long. Long going to work against Roberts, who has 4 fouls. Long misses. Roberts almost had it, but then it goes to Fritz. Henderson. Step back jumper. That's going to be short. Rebound, Cisse. Nice defense by Cisse.
Exactly. I was thinking the exact same thing with a big. Talk about moving your feet. Beautiful defense.
Nelson backs off.
Looks like they're going with a bigger lineup.
He splits the defense, gets inside, reverse layup, good.
Boy, he's creative because his spin control is just amazing. He worked for Maytag, you know, Dreyer spin control there.
Nice.
Probably the washer, but, you know, it's in the neighborhood.
Staveski just dribbling around right now. Now Long claims the basketball. Wanted to go backdoor to Dinkins. Swings it back out to Fritz. Inside to Henderson. A lot of contact. Ball comes free, and it's a turnover for Canisius.
Nice play by Nelson, anticipating that pass.
12th turnover for the Griffs. Nelson. That one off the mark.
He's got to be tired, right? Has the ball so much. Front rim there. Missed the one game winner there. So he's got to be a very tired player at this point.
Played 37 of the 40 regulation minutes. Dinkins. Staveski forces up a shot there, was looking for contact and did not get the call.
Yeah, you can hear Reggie, he's saying go. They're not getting in the Canisius, their half-court offense quickly enough, and then it becomes panic. First half there, but he's certainly someone that could light it up. I'm not suggesting they're going to put him in, but
thinking back to overtime games, I believe there was a 3 overtime game here back in 1999. The Griffs come away with a victory in that one.
yeah, see, they're adjusting it there. I like what they've done here.
Spreading the floor. Stewart. Right inside to Roberts, who jams it home.
Boy, I love ball fakes, but that was just beautiful. That was very good coaching. They took the ball out of Nelson's hands, and that was smart. He is tired, and they got a much better look. You can't get a much better look than that, obviously. Now, the Canisius, don't panic here a lot of time, Jay. Just get that good shot. Try to run that inside out.
But instead, it's a turnover, and then Fritz commits his 5th and disqualifying foul. That'll be 2 shots for Nelson, and the Griffs will lose Jaco Fritz.
Get a stop, come down and make some foul shots, and now they're looking at the other end of the tunnel.
So Nelson at the line, 65% foul shooter, perfect on the first one.
The WAMP meter's ready, though. I'm analyzing that now. I'm watching, seeing how they get ready for that.
The lefty takes aim, misses, and he's at 20 points right now.
Take advantage of the miss, right? You get a break, make them pay for missing that.
Henderson to Mislenikov. Mislenikov back to Henderson. Dinkins uses the screen. Step back 3. Off the mark, no good. Rebound. And we've got all sorts of folks tied up in a foul against Canisius.
Yeah, that was a tough shot, right, Dinkins? You know, step back 3, your body's going right to left instead of left to right. Again, got to get it inside. Maybe a high screen and roll and pop long with Staveski and Long, maybe.
See the tie up there, and either Henderson or Long could have gotten. I believe gave it to Long, his 3rd. So Cisse goes to the line, 63% foul shooter. This is a double bonus, and his first is no good.
I think his last one, you analyze, he threw up a brick, and he was rewarded. There, well, back to the WAMP meter.
The WAMP came out again.
Yeah.
Another opportunity for Cisse, and he misses. So Canisius still alive here, but they've got to get their offense going.
Yeah, 3 straight misses, right? And foul for profit, you mentioned it earlier. It's certainly playing itself out here.
Long looks to get inside. Back out to Henderson, his 3. Another good contest though by Cisse. Wow.
Yeah, that's why he's in there, right? I don't think he's going to make the all-MAC offensive team, but you're right. His length and his footwork for that size, that's quite an asset to have.
He's the one that Trey Dinkins on the rim, at the rim earlier in the game. It looked like it would have wrapped things up for Canisius as Nelson lays that up, and then it looks like Manhattan's ready to wrap this one up. They're up to 7 now.
Well, you still got to get a good shot here and catch it in rhythm. And
Staveski rises up, knocks it down. Timeout, Canisius. First bucket of overtime for the Griffs.
Boy, that was a great find by Long. And what I liked about Staveski that time, he didn't hesitate at all. I think he's a little tired. He's the inbounder, but you get it back to him, and that might be their secondary play here, though.
So Brennan to inbound. Runs the baseline. Gets to Nelson in the corner, and the trap comes over. And he throws it ahead to Stewart. Well done.
That was extremely well done. Great find.
Stewart will work a little clock right here. The Griffs playing for the stop. Shot clock down to 13. Stewart to Roberts on the baseline. Had a wide open shot. Back to Stewart. Shot clock winding down. Stewart out to Brennan. Shot clock at 0, and it goes in. What a big shot for Nick Brennan. And a timeout called by Manhattan.
Boy, you know what? You've got to sometimes just go off the script, and that you nailed it. Roberts had an 8-footer. Yeah, this one it's going to eat away at it a little bit, you know. Putting out a little soft pressure on here. Typical strategy is late in the game here.
Griffs led this one by 8 in the second half. Now we're in overtime. They're down 7. Staveski to Meslenikov. Off the mark. Dinkins, his 3. Back rim, no good. Brennan grabs the rebound. Ahead to Roberts. The Griffs need to foul, and they finally do. After Roberts got rid of the ball. 16.3 remaining. Roberts will get 2.
Well, Canisius gave up a lot of points in the paint early. They seemed to tighten that up. They had some nice offense interior play, but at the end of the day, they just didn't get the big stop when they needed it, right? When you have that 2-3 possession lead, you need to keep, I think it was about the 8-minute mark we were talking about. Manhattan looked tired. That's when you just step on the gas a little bit more and put games like this away, and they'll learn from it.
Staveski fires with 3. That's going to be short. Long gets the rebound. His put back, no good. Rebound tapped around out of bounds. Manhattan we're going to say Canisius basketball. They can review it because then they should, because it really did go off Canisius. That went off Xavier Long's fingers. But they're not going to ask me for my opinion.
No. Well, got to make that call when you see it live, right? It was pretty obvious.
Yep. So for Canisius, they get to go up to Niagara next
Friday night
against the Purple Eagles, who are playing well. Beat this Manhattan team just on Friday night. The Griffs, of course, have got to find some answers here between now and then. They looked good for a while. They had a great streak midway through the second half. They've made 10 of their last 11 shots. It opened up an 8-point lead, but then inconsistency down the stretch, and Manhattan was just the more consistent team.
Yeah, once Manhattan went to that man-to-man, Canisius got really comfortable, and then, of course, chess match, adjust out of that. But as I said, a lot of assists, everything was clicking, and then, as we often say on these broadcasts, the games of runs, and Manhattan had the best and the last one to seal the 7-point victory in overtime.
And if you missed it there, sorry about that. The court call on the out-of-bounds play was overruled. Wasn't back. Manhattan basketball is all pretty much academic.